In close, I listed my arguments from strongest to weakest to allow my opponent to attack any of the ones that she wishes or to counter how she sees fit, and I look forward to it. I'll be doing the exact same thing.
Sammy, you got anything you want to open with, or you want to just get going?
Well, I didn't prepare any statement, but that was good. Thank you for preparing that.
Okay. Is there anything you have a exceptional problem with?
Well, again, I'm not 100% for feminism, but I still believe women should have rights.
Well, what is feminism?
Well, we'll get into that, but you said you don't know what feminism has accomplished, but so during World War II, men went to war, women went to work, and America's economy doubled in size and became the biggest world power in history.
Right, and feminism accomplish that?
Not alone, no. But
how did feminism accomplish any of that?
Feminism just means women working. Like, if it wasn't a war, it wouldn't have been that situation, right? Like, it was kind of like, we played our cards we had, right?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What is feminism?
Okay, well, we're not talking about feminism. We're talking about women going to work and making the economy bigger.
The debate's not about women going to work. The debate's about feminism. I'd like to debate with you about feminism.
Okay. So then I'll let you lead the discussion.
Okay. What do you think feminism is?
Women having...
Just to be fair, I have trouble defining feminism too, because everybody's got a different...
Well, I'll give you my definition of feminism.
That's what I was going to ask.
My definition of feminism is a movement towards egalitarianism and the destruction or usurpation of patriarchal systems. It's the dismantling of patriarchal systems. That's feminism. The reason that has to be what feminism is because in order to be oppressed, you have to have an oppressor. If you're saying that women are oppressed, who necessarily is going to be the oppressor? It's not going to be orangutans. It's going to be men. So therefore, it has to be a patriarchy who we are having trouble with or having problems with. So in order for you to have egalitarianism with these patriarchs, you're going to have to dismantle their systems. Otherwise, how are you going to have political power or any power at all? So it has to be that it's women who want egalitarianism with men. And in order to do that, they have to dismantle patriarchal structures. That's what it has to be.
I mean, I somewhat agree with you, and it's a long definition. Mine would be much simpler, just women having rights. I get what you're saying, that it has to dismantle patriarchy systems, but I think also the reason why feminism, it's a philosophy, and it's different in different countries around the world. And so it's not just feminism, it's also that time and period, the culture, the geopolitical issues. Again, like I just said, World War II. So to just blame feminism, like corporations, like you said, are well, I don't know if you said it, but most people agree are trying to dismantle the American dream, family four, right?
No, corporations would probably vastly prefer that there be intact family units, because then they can't, and I'll explain why. It's because if you're dependent on an income to support a family, your chance of staying in a corporate job is much higher than if you're not taking care of a family and not dependent on the income. So if you're single, you're less likely to get hired than if you're married for this reason. So it's actually in corporate interest to have intact family units. It's actually in their interest to do so.
Yes, no, and it's kind of like muddy because we have the DEI issue, and we can both probably agree that we don't.
Yeah, that is brought to you by feminism. So this is the feminist arc, not the corporate arc. The DEI and all of this and intersectionality is that's feminism. So this is you telling corporations that you need to hire women and pay them the same and all this bullshit. That's feminism. That has nothing to do with what corporate interests want.
That women didn't do that. It was Obama in 2011. So, and I don't know.
No. The pay gap goes back a long ways before Obama was ever president.
When it comes to in the American government, like now, remember they had the commercial of like our military transgender and like all that. Like that's all because of and why like some of our Secret Service or like short lesbians, like that was his bill, or not a bill, executive order in 2011. I don't know all the details. I can look it up if you want, but that's what started it. It was like the quotas and all that kind of stuff. It started with just DI. Now it's actually DEIA.
Yes, but you do realize that nomenclature or abbreviations for things, they take on different shapes. In this case, we're talking about just basic intersectionality. This is one form of intersectionality. Intersectionality is an old theme. Before it was intersectionality, it was called other things, but you're still talking about the same concepts. The concept here is the playing field isn't fair for one group over another group, and so necessarily the government needs to intervene in order to levy or level the playing field between both of those groups. That would be feminism. Isn't feminism trying to level the playing field between men and women? So they are DEI. Now you can say, well, it's not, well, wait a second, it's not actually DEI, because what DEI is referring to is some shit that Obama said. No, it's intersectionality, and intersectionality is the idea of leveling the playing field between different groups based on their oppression levels in the oppression Olympic scale. And so necessarily feminism would fall under DEI. Necessarily has to fall under DEI.
No, not necessarily, because like you said, feminism came first and somehow existed without DEI.
But it's trying to accomplish the same thing as DEI. It's intersectionality.
Can we agree maybe in a different country it's not?
What country?
Our that it didn't have to be. It just, that is what it is.
No, all countries. Western feminism was a movement that happened together. The feminists worked together on a global level. Original architects of feminists worked together. They worked together from France, from England, from the United States. They traveled between each other's countries, like Margaret Sanger and others. Prominent feminists worked together. It was a global campaign and has been a global campaign for generations. So. This idea, but I need you to respond to this just real quick. If the idea,
I like how you said the global issue, because I was just going to bring up, it's not Obama's idea. Obama is the one with the authority who implemented it, right? So I'm not saying it was Obama's ideas. I'm saying he's the one, the man with the authority that put it on society, right?
No, there's been tons. No, there's tons of people before Obama.
Wouldn't you both agree? But wouldn't you both agree that
men to be leaders? This was a man being a leader, and he decided to do that. That's fine.
But wouldn't you both agree that the true push of intersectionality came with women's right to vote? I mean, that was the first real push for egalitarian.
Slaves.
What about it?
Did that come first?
What about it? What does that have to do with anything?
Becoming more equal, civil rights.
Yeah, so that's a different form of egalitarianism. So when we're talking about if you're asking about this being a part of an egalitarian system.
What else is part of DEI?
I'll tell you what. When you're done prattling, let me know.
The critical race theory, queer theory. That yes, they're related with each other, but they're not one and the same.
Yeah. Okay, but listen. When you have forms of egalitarianism. Okay, all forms of egalitarianism are all pushing towards the same thing, right? Which is the equality between Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, et cetera, and to infinity. Okay? Doesn't matter what group it is, and it doesn't matter what the disparity is. Doesn't matter if the disparity is, well, it's because you're black, or it's because you're a woman, or it's because you're poor, or it's because you live over here in the trees, and so you have a disadvantage against people who build huts on the ground. It doesn't fucking matter what the disparity is. Female feminists are part of a movement towards egalitarianism. Their goal specifically is to close the gap between men who are the oppressor class to women who are the oppressed class. That is the only way feminism can work. Otherwise, what the fuck are they trying to do exactly? Can you tell me that, Samantha? What are they trying to do?
Who's they?
Feminists.
How do these feminists control the world and what we do? How are they so?
What the fuck are you talking? We can listen. Pay attention to what I'm asking. Hang on. Pay attention to what I'm asking you. Very, very simply. Here's what I'm asking you. If feminist goal is not to level the playing field between men and women by making them completely equal with each other, hang on. Then what is it?
Okay, but I don't know what every feminist idea of feminism is, right? Like there are different even you could say, oh, black women have their own type of feminism, right? Like they don't like white feminism, right?
Okay.
But
listen. Let's say. Hang on. Let's.
Let me just jump in real quick.
Okay,
what Andrew's asking is,
I'm a feminist. I want to be able to have rights, but I don't care about equaling the playing field.
No, why do you want to have rights?
Could you have rights?
Yeah, why do you want to have rights then?
But why do men want to have rights if their playing field is not?
Because they really think they should be in charge.
But it's not equal.
Yeah, that's right. Now you're getting it.
No, so if just men have rights, are all men, yes, equal in the sense they all have the same rights?
Right.
Are they the same type of man?
No.
Right.
Which has what to do with what?
But can we admit there's maybe some women that are smart and could be maybe a lawyer or a doctor?
Sure.
Most women, and can we admit that some women are not meant to be mothers?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I understand, like, that's what I'm telling you. My definition of feminism is I don't control the big organizations. And I like how you said oppressor. It reminds me of colonizer, right?
Can you vote?
What?
Can you vote?
Where?
In the United States?
Can me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Can you?
Okay, so then if you can vote in the United States, you're exercising political power. You're exercising political power, then necessarily you have a say in whether or not you can send men off to war and all sorts of other different things. So, like, I don't even know what the hell you're babbling about. If you're asking about, can some men not be leaders? Can some women not be mothers? Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Can some men be born with vaginas? Can some women be born with penises? Can some meteorite strike some house chimneys? Like, yes, all of that shit is true. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Here's what we're talking about. If feminism, the stated goal of the philosophy of feminism, is not to bridge the oppressor-oppressed relationship between men and women, then what the fuck is it, Samantha?
Okay, I'll look up the definition for you. How about that? Because you don't need to cuss at me.
It's just how I talk. I'm not cussing. Stop tone police. Stop tone policing. You're a big girl. You're a big girl. Stop tone policing.
Are you from the East Coast or something?
What?
Are you from the East Coast?
No.
You can have like a New York. I was just wondering.
No, I'm not from the East Coast.
Okay. Definition of feminism: the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of sexes. But now it's not even based.
Wait. What is it? Hang on. Read it again.
It's based on equity. So the definition is the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality.
Oh, yeah. So equality, and you agree with me, egalitarianism is equality, yeah?
Yes.
So then it would be the movement of egalitarianism against men, which would necessarily put men in the oppressor role, yeah?
If you wanted to call the man the oppressor in that role, sure.
That's what they would call him.
I think anybody would be able to say that.
Yeah, but like... See, I was kind of talking with Hosley about it earlier. I believe in like Judeo-Christian values, which I know that's vague, so we can get more specific if you want. But in Judaism, there's not this like concept that the wife has to like serve the husband, right? And they serve each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of have a different core belief than you.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with the global feminism trying to take over the patriarchy.
Okay, but this debate is not over Jewish versus Christian ethics.
Oh no, I'm just letting you know.
Okay, but I'm letting you know that your worldview of how Jewish ethics intercede between Jews has zero bearing. Hey, stop! I just let you talk, right? Give me 10 seconds to at least respond. Okay. So the thing is like it has no bearing. Jewish ethics or Christian ethics have no bearing on the debate that we're currently having. Now, if you're trying to say to me, I think feminism is something different based on Jewish ethics, than what the stated goals of Western feminists are, then that's a whole different claim. But I don't really understand why you're bringing up Jewish ethics. I don't give a shit about Jewish ethics. I care about the debate topic, which is feminism. So in feminism, it's egalitarianism, the movement towards egalitarianism, which creates an oppressor-oppressed class. That's the philosophy of feminism. The males have to necessarily be the oppressors, or else who the hell are the oppressors? It has to be the men. Otherwise, who is it? So in this case, when we're talking about feminism, when you look up the definition, it says a movement towards equality. You say equality is egalitarianism. If it's a movement towards egalitarianism, it's an oppressor-oppressed relationship. Very simple, right?
Yes, but DEI goes a step further than that. Equity. I don't believe in equity.
Do you believe in equality? I think that's what
does equality mean?
That all people are created equal, and that all people deserve an equal say in the future of how things are run.
Well, no, because we'll get into it. If we want to do restrictions on voting, it would be different parameters.
What the hell is a parameter?
Parameters.
Oh, a parameter. Sorry. Okay, so I guess okay, so I actually have to appeal to a moderator here. Halsey, I actually don't know what the hell this chick is talking about. Like, what the hell are you talking about right now? Do you have a problem with feminism, or do you not have a problem with feminism?
I don't think it's the problem of the world of everything.
I'm not saying it's a problem of everything. I don't think feminism had anything to do with the rock that was in my shoe this morning when I put my shoe on, and it caused me a moderate amount of discomfort. That would be a problem that had nothing to do with feminism. But are you here to argue a pro-feminist or an anti-feminist stance?
Say, for example, when Trump gets to office, he magically cancels all DEI, reverses all that. We already did, the race one, like to get into colleges, the Supreme Court already overturned that. So in the future, it might get better, right? If we eliminate all these quotas, and it goes back to just based on merit.
Okay, but I think what he's asking is, let's say this. Let's say there were no DEI, there was no movement of gay rights, there was no right of trans rights, there was none of that left. All that was left was the movement of men's rights and women's rights. Mm-hmm. Then would you see them as being equal rights, or would you see them as being one being subservient to the other?
Well, right. I see them as equal.
Okay, then you're great. So we've established that you're a feminist. So you would be arguing a pro-feminist stance.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So can you tell me what the moral imperative is of equal rights?
For women to have agency over their own body and life, probably.
So you're pro-abortion?
I'm not pro-abortion, but I believe women should have the right
to abort.
Yes.
Okay, now why should people have sovereignty over their own body?
Because I don't. When do you think it starts at conception? I don't want to get into that, and because then
I'm not having an abortion debate. I'm talking about bodily autonomy. I don't care about abortion.
But we live in the United States of America. Women already got that right. It was taken away. Now it's gone to the states.
Okay, well, let me try this a different way. Let's start with this. What do you think a right is?
A right is an unalienable right given to...
Well, you can't use the word to describe the word. It becomes circular. It'd be like if I asked what's a woman, you said a woman is a woman is a woman.
Why don't you define it for me?
Well, why do I need to define for you what you think a right is?
I'm asking you, please. Can you please, sir?
No, listen, I can't. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what you think a right is. If we're talking about rights and you have a conception of them and think I should have them and you should have them, you should be able to tell me what they are.
Who gives men their rights?
Okay, what is a right? Let's start with that.
It's something that that's given, or you can say either from God.
Okay. From the government.
You can do something.
Okay, got it. So these are like entitlements, you would say?
Sure.
Okay.
Right. Rules.
So do they exist in tangible reality, or are they constructions of the mind?
The construction of the mind.
They're a construction of the mind. Okay. So what we're really talking...
Social construction.
Social construct. We'll go with that. That's fine. Okay, that's an easy way to look at it, I guess. So if a right is a social construction, it does not exist in reality, why the hell should I give you one?
Why the hell should you not give me one?
That's begging the question. Like you're asking... You're the one saying you should have them.
Why is a human I should not be able to have agency over?
Because we haven't demonstrated that these things exist, let alone that there should be an entitlement for them or that anybody's entitled to them. So I need to know why a person's entitled to them.
We can do whatever we want.
Right. Okay. We can do whatever we want. So if we establish that we can do whatever we want, it just comes down to force, right?
Sure.
Okay. So then if it just comes down to force, men have a monopoly on force and you appeal to men for your rights. That's the end of the argument.
So then why were there kings? One man had all the money and all these peasants.
The peasant, you mean, why did kings have monopolies on force? Because men work within hierarchies, and so within these hierarchies of force doctrine, some of them climb up to the top of the force doctrine where they command force doctrine. However, men can at any time they want to appeal force doctrine with force, and women can't. So if rights are just a construction of the mind, you're actually just asking men to use force on your behalf. That's what you're actually asking.